Today we will be making a fake cover of the New York Times. We will revisit the text tool, make some selections, use the magic wand tool and the eraser, and learn how to add stroke. I love this project because it has so much room for creativity. Here's one I made in preparation for this video. I'm going to get rid of everything in it and start over. On Google Classroom, I'm going to provide this New York Times template so you can save that and bring it in and start working from there. One of the first things we need to do is we need to come up with an idea. You already saw my idea, but let's think about something that is real and then something that's not real, and let's combine those together. So I went with something real, and I decided I would use the middle school. I used my snipping tool to do this, so I could get a real great picture of the middle school. All right, that looks good to me. Going over to Photoshop, I'm going to paste that in. A little bit big, so I'm going to use my Move tool and my Transform controls to make it a little bit smaller. Now, because this is a newspaper, I don't want my image to be distorted. So when I click the corner, if I just click it, I'm able to wiggle it in all sorts of awful ways. And no newspaper would publish a picture that looked like this. On my computer, I hold the Shift key and then click and drag. If you can click and drag the corner without it getting all squished, then go for that. I have to hold the Shift key. All right, I'm going to put that. Looks pretty good. Now I need my not real element. And for that, as you saw a moment ago, I chose Taco Cat. I'm going to right click and I'm going to, it didn't work. I'm going to use my snipping tool to grab that as well. If you're ever having trouble on Google Images trying to get one of the images off, snipping tool, really great tool for that. Let's pop back over to Photoshop. I'm going to paste that in, and now I have my Taco Cat. I want the Taco Cat to look like it's blending in a bit, so I'm going to use my magic wand tool and I'm going to select the background. If I was worried about the text, I might do my select similar, which would then select all the black in the image, including inside the cat. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just going to hit the delete key, and that's going to erase almost everything. If we zoom in a bit, we can see it didn't quite get everything. Up here is not so great. In here in the Taco Cat's not so great. And bits of the Taco Cat are missing. To clean that up, I'm going to use the eraser tool. This does exactly what you think it does. It just erases it away. I can use the undo key to get that back, but there's no way to get that back like if I'm using a mask. I have no intention of ever using that word Taco Cat in this, so I'm not concerned about losing that forever. Zoom out a little bit, and I can position my Taco Cat. Ooh. I'm going to hold my Shift key so that it doesn't get super distorted. I want a good-looking Taco Cat. I think this time Taco Cat's going to be on the roof. Next, I need to add some text. I need a headline for this, so I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm going to drag out my text box. Notice that it puts placeholder text in. That's expected. This is my chance now to start typing. This text doesn't really fit in. It's too small, and it doesn't really look right. So I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to come over to my text tool. Now to make it bigger, I've got two choices. Use my drop-down menu, or there's a secret menu where if you click and hold on the letter, in this case the one next to the size, you can click and drag it. This is a really great way to easily change the size of text. That looks pretty good, but the font doesn't look right. It doesn't really match what's up here. So I'm going to click my drop-down font menu. One thing I love about Photoshop is that they show you this word sample of what it's sort of kind of going to look like. But then when you start hovering over it, it will change the text so you can see what it looks like. All right, that one's not too bad. Let's keep looking. I'm not really trying to fool anyone with this, so I'm not super worried about absolutely nailing it. But this Cambria math, that looks like something that would be on a newspaper. When I'm happy with it, I can hit OK, and then I can move my text around. I'm going to move this up a little bit, and then also adjust my Taco Cat so it's back on the roof. This is looking pretty good. But one thing that I've noticed on the New York Times is there tends to be a stroke or a black line around the image when they have a big image like this, front page news. To do that, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select layer 2. Layer 2 is the layer that my picture is. This is what I want my black line around. With the layer 2 selected, I can go up to Edit and then click Stroke. I can choose the color. I want a black stroke. And I can choose how wide it is. I'm going to try 5 pixels and see what that looks like. Just like that, it looked for the edges and put a black stroke around it. All right. I wouldn't recommend doing this to your image, but I want to show you what happens if you do the stroke to something that's not square. I'm going to choose Taco Cat. We've deleted a lot of Taco Cat's background. We didn't mask it, we deleted it. I'm going to go to Edit, Stroke, and we can see it carefully followed all around Taco Cat and made a new, better black line. I was planning on doing this, but it actually looks pretty good, so I'm going to leave that. We are nearly there. I have a real, something real, I have something not real. I've got a fantastic title, putting the two of those together. But this date right here, that's no good. How can I get rid of that? I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to use my rectangular marquee tool. This is like a selection tool. You can use this to, well, if you select a layer where there's something, you can use it to grab and move stuff around. You could also use it like a selection tool, like the magnetic lasso tool, where if I go to my new layer and I drag it over this text, I can fill that or use a brush and fill that in. It's a little hard to see what's happening here, but all I did was fill in this box with white. And because that white is the same as this layer, it looks like I have erased that text underneath, but it's still there. Now I can grab my text tool again. I can put a text box up here, and I can mimic that date formula. Today's date in the distant past is 10 of October 22. My text is not readable. It's there, I promise you. I know it's there, but it's not readable. There's a couple reasons for that. One, my text might be so large that it doesn't fit in the box. Let's try making it a little bit smaller. But I still can't see it. The reason why I can't see it is my color of my text is white. Let's change that to something other than the background color, and there we go. We can now see it much easier. That also makes it easier for me to adjust the size of my date. Again, I'm using the secret hidden slider. If you click the letter next to 30 point, yours will say something else, but this is how you adjust the font size. Then I'm going to click this checkbox. That looks fantastic. I'm now ready to turn this in, and I cannot wait to see yours.